This is HuffPost Live. I'm Mike Sachs, and joining me on set today, we have NASCAR superstar Danica Patrick, and she's here to talk about her trailblazing career in a male-dominated sport, what it's like to be a video game character, and what's next for her on and off the racetrack. So, hey, Danica, thanks for joining.
Hi, sure. Thank you. Nice
all right. Good handshake. I like that. So, I want to first ask you about you're just completing your, I think, first full NASCAR season, right?
That's correct. Yep. I did part NASCAR the last couple of years and full IndyCar, but now I'm all NASCAR, so it was the first year for that. So I did the full NASCAR Nationwide Series, and I did 10 Sprint Cup races in preparation for next season, which will be full-time Sprint Cup.
So for those unfamiliar with the differences between NASCAR and IndyCar, can you tell us the differences and why you've made the switch?
Well, IndyCar is open wheel, which literally means the wheels are exposed and open. You know, the cars are very different. They handle different. They are set up different because they don't change very much in the race, where stock cars, they are much heavier cars. Instead of weighing 1,500 or so pounds, these weigh like 3,400, and they definitely don't have the luxury of new technologies, really, like open wheel cars tend to. So you know, everything, you know, the cars change quite a bit throughout the race, and you have to set your car up to make sure it's good for the whole race, as opposed to just feeling good for a couple of laps. And those things are really challenging. I know I'm probably sounding confusing, but in my mind it all makes sense.
And then why do you make the switch then from IndyCar to NASCAR full time?
You know, I just wanted to try something new, and I really feel like NASCAR looked really fun, and I didn't know at that point in time. In fact, I committed to doing some races without even having driven the car. So I was definitely taking a little bit of a leap, but I just thought it looked like a lot of fun. I've liked oval racing a lot, and NASCAR's all oval racing, and IndyCar was definitely migrating towards much more road course racing.
Well, let's rewind back a couple of years, and could you tell our viewers how you got started in race car driving to begin with?
Let's rewind 21 years.
Okay, let's do that.
So I was 10 years old, and I started racing go-karts. My sister was the one who really wanted to do it. She's 2 years younger than me, so she was 8 and I was 10. And it was a way for my family, my mom and dad and my sister and I, to spend time together. My dad worked a lot, and my mom got to stay home with us, with my sister and I, so it was kind of a way to just spend some quality time together.
And then that turned into what then?
Well, that turned into me moving away from home, so they lost some quality time with me. But like they told me when I was 16, I moved to England at 16 for 3 years and to race, and they just said that it'd be far worse to not have that opportunity. And so, of course, you know, you need to go do this. So they were you know, very brave and let me leave high school and do that. So. We had a lot of fun, though, that's for sure. We spent a lot of hours on the road together growing up. And
did you find much resistance then when you were trying to break into the circuit itself? Did people look at you and say, oh, she's a woman, she won't be able to perform in this arena?
I don't think so. I really feel maybe they just didn't say it to my face, or maybe they all treat me the same, and the same being maybe there's some resistance, but I only know one way. And you know, people always ask what it's like to be a girl. I'm like, I don't know what it's like to be a guy. So you know, for me, it all seems quite normal. And but you know, I think that in any industry where you're breaking a gender barrier or the norm, you know, maybe you have to prove yourself a little bit more so, but you definitely have to be confident. You definitely have to stand your ground, and you definitely have to stand for something. So and what you want. So I think those are the most important things that get people to believe in you and treat you the same.
And have you seen many more women coming now through the gates into the IndyCar track and the NASCAR tracks?
I have. A few years back, I went to the go-kart track that I grew up driving on, and I think there was probably almost 40% girls there. So it was overwhelmingly different than when I grew up. There was my sister, and I think there was like one other girl. So that was back then, and that was 20 years ago, and this is now. So I would say things are changing.
Well, cool. Well, I want to go to our comment section where we have our frequent commenter, Digital, saying, Danica, how many speeding tickets do you get a year on average? Have you ever been able to talk your way out of a ticket?
Oh, I am much better about not getting speeding tickets anymore, but I have had plenty. I would say I've been pulled over. I don't know how many tickets exactly I have, but I would say a majority of them resulted in tickets. I'm sure I've been pulled over at least like 12 or 15 times.
Is that because the cops are NASCAR and IndyCar fans and know how much you bring in per
When
race?
they are NASCAR and IndyCar
you can
fans,
afford
I
it.
tend to get out of the tickets.
Oh.
But before that, I can't be a jerk, and I can't try and tell them who I am. They either figure it out and they don't give you the ticket, or they don't. And if they don't, I've found that trying doesn't get me anywhere. So it's much better if I just let other people drive. And that's a lot of times why I let people drive instead of me. I mean, I'd rather drive, but if I let other people do it, then I know that I can't get a speeding ticket, and that is a good thing.
So you'd rather drive, although you drive for a living, you don't just want to take the back seat or the passenger seat when it comes to just being a civilian?
No, I think sometimes after a race I'm okay. If not, I don't drive because I just don't feel like it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I like to drive.
Yeah, or else you wouldn't be in the business you're in.
Pretty. I'm in the business, so I should like to drive, right?
So what's been your favorite race? What's the highlight of your career?
I mean, the first Indy 500 is always something for me that's special. It was in 2005, and I came pretty close to getting the pole and winning the race. So it was a special time, and it was exciting. It was the first time I felt like I really kind of arrived on the mainstream media, map, and it was pretty overwhelming. That was pretty amazing. Obviously, winning my IndyCar race in Japan, I've had some great times in NASCAR too. It's a lot of fun. Those cars are just so fun to drive. So hopefully, make a lot more memories like those.
And are you worried at all when you step into the NASCAR car or into the NASCAR? What would I say? Into the NASCAR car or just into the NASCAR?
Into NASCAR.
Okay, when you step into
Sure.
NASCAR, what do you ever have any safety concerns? Do those still?
Or when you step into the car, I guess, in
Yeah.
that scenario.
do those give you butterflies still when you walk in, or have you always been somewhat fearless when you get into the car and you're ready to race?
I'm not very fearless at all, actually. I'm quite wimp. I'm very scared of trying things, and I'm just not very brave, and I'm not very daring.
You can't be doing what you're doing if you weren't brave or daring.
Yeah, well, I'm not. So and that's probably why I'm a methodical learner, because I don't just like to go, I just don't like to go out there and go past my comfort zone, because that's when mistakes happen, and I'm not a big fan of making them and crashing. So so I tend to build up. But the thing is about that is that as I build up slowly, I understand how I got to where the speed I got to, and I can usually repeat it. And so that's important, and that's a valuable thing. So I'm methodical. I'm a wimp. Poor me.
I can't see how you're a wimp. I've seen you race.
I did try bungee jumping once. That was like the bravest thing I could ever do.
How long ago was that?
Because I am very scared of heights. That was about 2 years ago.
Okay, all right. Well, do you have any other big, crazy, daring things aside from getting in a race car and zooming around in over 100 miles for quite a while? That's I'm blown away. You're saying you're a wimp. That's pretty amazing.
Like I'm not. In fact, I was just looking through some old pictures from when I was younger. I was at my folks' house for the holiday for Thanksgiving, and I'm like not an outdoorsy girl either at all. I was like, my sister would be out riding the four-wheelers or the snowmobiles, and I was nowhere to be found in those photos. And my dad was like, "Yeah, you weren't really a fan of the. You were more of an indoor girl," and that's true. I'm like all about hair and makeup and clothes, and I don't like to get too dirty, so. But I drive race cars 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, at least you're staying clean inside the car, right?
Thank you, good Lord, for that ability.
So I want to, speaking of that ability and thanking the good Lord, you are now in the good world of Sega, right? I see on pull up my computer here. You've hit the track in a transforming Hot Wheels car in Sonic and All-Stars Racing. This is pretty cool. You're riding a indie boat, I would call it, maybe.
It kind of does look
boat?
like an indie boat. That looks like a NASCAR a little bit.
Go through outer space. I got these pictures here. I'll show them a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. Show the car. Oh,
yeah, and there you are in the car.
That's definitely looking like an Indy car.
So tell us about the experience.
So it's Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed is the name of the game, and it's transformed because, as you can see, it was on water. You fly through the air, and you're on land. So that's it. Your car transforms into all those things. So when they asked me if I wanted to be a part of the game and be a character in the game, I mean, it's pretty cool for someone once they grow up to be able to have the opportunity to be a playable character in a game, especially a brand so iconic as Sega. So it all worked out, and they allowed me a lot of flexibility with the voice and the words.
That's
and
cool.
Everything. They asked for my input about the car, the color, my special, powers, and so it was nice. They wanted it to be really authentic, and that felt good to me.
And have you been able to play yourself in the game?
I haven't played myself yet, but I played it before. When we were doing all the stuff for the game, all the voiceover stuff. So no, I think it's that's it. Can somebody buy this for me for the holidays? There's like a 4-player feature, so I'd like to play on the 1-player feature for a while because I don't like to do things I'm not good at, so I'll get good on my own, and then you can play with a bunch of people, so it's kind of a good holiday game, especially if you have kids that love to play. It's a way to get your parents involved and not have it be like one kid just sitting in front of a TV like this.
Well, I want to play the clip just to show a little bit about this, and I think we have it ready to play right now.
Chase is on. This car is hooked up.
Pretty slick move, huh?
Oh, right.
Take this!
Whoa!
Dang it!
Pedal to the metal.
So someone in the control room said that he or she, he will buy you the game if you want
That's
it.
awesome. You just did that. You went like that. I always do that.
You get to be in a video game, I get to touch my ear.
So cool.
I'm not sure if the trade-off's good there, but you've been in more Super Bowl commercials now than
yeah.
anyone, right? Are we going to expect you in February to be showing up on our screens again?
I was just in Arizona at GoDaddy's headquarters in Scottsdale, and Bob Parsons, the CEO and founder, he announced that I would be in both of the Super Bowl commercials again this year. So kind of extending that title of being in more Super Bowl commercials than anyone else. That's pretty cool. I mean, I was trying to think how many people have seen me then in Super Bowl commercials. And I mean, if there's any time ever when you're watching TV, sports number 1, because it's something that you like to watch live. And number 2, Super Bowl, you're always so known for people watch for those commercials. So, 100 million people watch every year. So.
Yep.
Times, I think 11.
If you have no team in the game, and most people in America don't have the team in the game, they have the commercials they want to see.
Exactly. And that doesn't even, that's just the people watching. That's not even necessarily the people that go online to look at them and critique them afterwards. So I'm very fortunate. They've been a fantastic partner, and they've been someone that's definitely, helped my brand grow, and I'm grateful for that.
Now, before we go to the community, I have to ask you, I know a week ago you announced that you are getting a divorce. How have you been holding up?
I'm okay. Thanks for asking. I appreciate your concern. I've always been very private about that part about my private life, and I'm going to keep it that way. But I'm doing good, so thanks for asking.
You're welcome. And I know that you did announce it on Facebook. And any reason why you'd want to then publicly announce it if given your private?
It obviously
life?
has. You have that authenticity. You have the control. I mean, it's our personal Facebook page, and it's really for the fans. My fans are very dedicated to me, and I have such great ones, and they invest into me. So certain things that that I want to be upfront and honest with my fans, and we thought that was the best way.
Well, great. And speaking of those best fans, we're going to turn to a couple of them here
on
our Hangout. So I want to bring in our NASCAR and Danica super fans to ask a few questions. We have teacher and awesomeracefans.com writer Rochelle Darling in Salt Lake City.
Hi.
We have college student Katie Koppel in Sioux City, Iowa. We also have college student and sports writer Kelly McHugh in Manhattan, Kansas. And we have father-daughter duo Dan and Sid Stager in Buffalo, New York. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Hey.
So I gotta go to Dan and Sid first. So I know you guys have some questions to ask, and Sid, I know you've been chomping at the bit to get a question on over to Danica. So I'm gonna hand it over to you. I want to know what you have to ask her.
I wanted to ask Danica if she wants to drive it nationwide next year, and if so, if you have a chance to drive in the Drive for COPD 300 in Daytona.
Okay, what camera do I answer to? Where do I go? You're at 4? Okay.
4.
Number 1, really. Thanks for your question. I love racing in the Nationwide Series. It's a lot of fun. I think the racing's really fun. It sounds like you might watch, so I think sometimes they're even better races than Cup sometimes. And I feel like driving in the Cup Series really helps me be comfortable in the Nationwide car. And so I'm hoping to do about at least 10 races in the Nationwide Series next year. So we just got to figure out, with who is it going to be, and work out the sponsorship side of things. But I hope to be a busy girl again next year. So thank you very much for your question.
And Katie, how about you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me over here.
Oh, you're welcome. We love having you on the screen. So you have a question for Danica?
I do, and I'm actually speaking for all of your female fans. Please tell us your hair secrets. I mean, how do you keep it so healthy and long?
Tarek, come over here.
Yeah, you have your hair secret
My
backstage?
hairstylist. He really should come over here. It's dry. Yeah, come here.
Come on.
Come on, tell me your So the secret is what? It's dry shampoo.
It's
It's dry shampoo.
dry shampoo, and a curling iron. Really,
Yeah.
that's it.
And genetics. I mean,
And
genetics play a
I
little
mean,
bit of a role.
Her hair is beautiful. I just play with it.
So he's going to send me
Yeah,
an
we're all
email with a
jealous.
list of all of the products that I need, like best shampoo conditioner, best dry shampoo. So
Yeah.
there you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go.
There you go. You have the hair secret, and his name is
Thanks,
Tarek. So excellent. Thank you for coming at from behind backstage. I know that might have been scary, but that made some awesome watching. So that was a good question. And
Thank you.
yeah. So Kelly, Rochelle, we haven't heard from you guys. So I want to hear. Let's race to the first question here.
All right, well.
Oh, okay. Kelly wins the race.
All right. Hey, Danica. I'm a sports writer, and I currently work in the middle of Kansas. So I'm definitely working in a very male-dominant career also, and I think it takes a lot of more hard work than people think for a woman to gain that respect, especially in sports. So I was kind of wondering where you got the drive that you have, especially early on in your career, to get kind of to the point right now on and off the track where you have that same respect.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I think that's very true. Especially in sports, I think there's definitely you have to be very confident. You have to know your stuff. So be smart, be educated, do your homework, ask good questions, be insightful. I always love talking to journalists that have done their homework enough to ask me something maybe that takes a real fan to know, or takes somebody that really follows to know. And just overall, you need to feel like you belong. And I think that's something that I was taught from a young age, was to be confident. And when you're talking, you don't think you're going to do things. You are going to do things, and you carry that confidence around with you. Also, I mean, when I was growing up racing go-karts, my dad never compared me to other girls. He just compared me to the best. And so, whether it's a girl or a guy, it doesn't matter. It's about being the best, and that will help push you to the next level.
And Michelle, what about you?
Thank you.
My question, hi Danica.
Hi.
How do you learn the mechanics of the car, and what changes need to be made to improve the car? Do you study it, or is it just natural instincts?
Well, thank you. I see you all the time on Twitter, so it's nice to talk to you.
I love writing articles. That was my last article was my favorite to write.
Oh, good. Well, for me, that's been the biggest thing, is learning about the car and learning about not necessarily the mechanics of it. I don't feel like I necessarily need to know that, but just to know the elements, so that when I feel something on the track, I can have that memory of, like, that was a track bar adjustment, or that was a shock adjustment, or that was a sway bar adjustment, and so that I can help the crew chief maybe hone in on what might need to be something to be fixed. So
Like the tire.
Yeah, if it's a tire, sometimes is the splitter hitting, or side skirts, or something like that. So just kind of knowing all those things, and how the feeling translates to a certain element on the car, and which one that is. And then definitely, I think over time it's been smart to use like a 1 out of 5, like, so it's 4 out of 5 loose, or it's 1 out of 5 loose. I think that helps them sort of make good changes. So and I've had a few crew chiefs lately, so it's been good to be really precise precise. So I'm still
Yes.
learning though. So anyway.
And I'm looking forward to your new crew chief.
Oh, thank
Going to
you.
be
Yeah,
exciting.
I think Tony Gibson's going to be really great, and I think he's going to take me fishing and hunting at some point in time. So that'll be
Nice.
awesome. If I don't have to, as long as I don't have to like skin anything, I'll be okay.
We need pics.
Thank you.
Now, Rochelle and Danica, have you guys spoken before? Or you
No,
only just
no, but
Twittered
I know
back and
she's. I know she follows me on Twitter and she writes all the time. And I value my fans like you that are just
I'm a
so
big
dedicated.
fan. I mean, I followed her since
Yeah.
Indy, so.
Yeah, so thank you for that. And
Thank
it
you.
doesn't go unnoticed. I know I don't always talk to all my fans a ton, but
I know you can't. I mean,
read.
what, half a million?
I read a lot, so it doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you.
Thank you, Danica. I appreciate it.
So Sid, I want to ask: was your dad into racing? Are you a IndyCar, NASCAR kind of guy, Dan, or did Sid really get you into it?
No, actually, I've been a big NASCAR fan since about '87, and Senior was my guy. Actually, I'm the one who got Sydney into it.
Excellent. So what have you learned from your dad about racing?
I don't know.
You learned it all from Danica, huh?
Basically, I started watching NASCAR because of Danica. So,
Well, what are you into? What do you like to do?
I golf on my varsity golf team at my school.
Wow,
Um,
I need a lesson.
There's only 2 girls on the team, me and my friend Sarah, and there's 15 boys.
That's pretty awesome. I struggle to hit the ball. I stand up when I follow through on my swing, so I absolutely suck at playing golf. I think I'm better as the golf cart driver.
Well, any advice you could give her then, as perhaps the golf cart driver or the caddy on the couch in the day for Sid?
Well,
Any advice you
she's
could give her?
obviously a golfer and not a golf cart driver like I am. So I think that not putting yourself against other girls, but competing against the guys. And I think in golf it's been shown that women can compete really well with the guys there. So I mean there's room though. So good luck. I hope that you just keep with it. And I think what's also important is that you're honest about it being something that you truly love to do, because if you want to keep doing it, you're going to need a lot of passion and you're going to need a total dedication to it, so that when things get tough you don't quit, or so that when things get tough you push through. So good luck.
And
Thank you.
what year are you in school right now, Sid?
I'm a freshman in high school.
Oh wow, and you're already playing on the varsity golf team. That's a huge feat. Congratulations.
Thank you.
In another life, I come back as a really good golfer. Because you go to really nice places and stay in really nice hotels, and you play at like Pebble Beach, and I want to play at Augusta, and so you go do that for me.
You hear that? You got your marching orders there, Sid.
There you go.
I have a video comment I want to play from Camille in North Carolina. She left this in our comments section. I want to have you listen to this as well.
Hey Danica, it's Camille from North Carolina. I've got a bit of a girlier question for you. Who is your favorite fashion designer and why? Thanks.
Hi, another big Twitter follower of mine. My favorite fashion designer, gosh, I mean, if there was one that was somewhere that I had to get all my clothes from, I would say it's pretty hard to go wrong with BCBG. Just overall for like quality clothes, good dresses, they've got shoes, purses, jewelry. I mean, as far as going to one store, or Barney's. I mean, that's pretty good too. So I like those stores a lot. But as far as a designer, designer itself, not necessarily associated with a store, probably, I tend to like a lot of like Rag & Bone or Elizabeth and James or things like that. Something that's like a little bit Alice and Olivia. Just apparently I like couples. So if you're a this and a that, then I like you. So I just like clothes that are a little bit more unique, and I like clothes that have like unique structure or texture. So I'm not a frilly girl so much. I like it a little bit stronger. Go figure. So those are kind of my favorite kind of ways to go with my clothes.
And Camille would also ask another question about your racing itinerary and if it gets really tiring when you're going from race to race to race.
Yeah, it does. And I think that, it gets pretty tiring traveling around. It gets pretty tiring sometimes your day of work, but you have to figure out what it is that you need to do to stay energized and stay upbeat and stay happy. And for me, it's really simple. Feed me. If you feed me, I'm good to go.
So what's your favorite dish?
Oh, eggs.
Eggs?
Any which way, I'll have them.
Yeah?
I don't care how they come. I don't even care if they're like rubber. I'll eat them.
Raw, Rocky style?
The
Do
only
you do
kind of
Rocky style eggs before a race?
The only kind of eggs I don't like are the ones that you get at some hotels, like if they're like not the nicest of hotels, and they're just like maybe they do the buffet in the morning. And I stay in a lot of different kinds of hotels, but it's the fake powder-based ones. Those taste really not good to me.
I was scrambling eggs the other day, and I was thinking, I hope these don't turn out like those eggs I get at a buffet in a Holiday Inn. I was thinking that, so we're mind melding here. But do you ever do the Rocky 5 eggs in a glass and swallow it down before an event? Okay, so you don't like those kinds of eggs either.
It takes like 90 seconds to make eggs. So suck it up, put it in a pan, crank it, just keep stirring, and it'll be done. And you can add a little salt and pepper to it, and it's good.
So Katie, as our journalist here, also I want to have you ask another question you've been itching to get to for some time. As the one of 2 female sports writers in Iowa?
Oh.
Yeah, one of us.
Sorry, that was which one was that again? Was that Rochelle? Was that Katie? Kelly?
That was me.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm a mass
write
communications
too,
major too.
But okay, all you guys are great writers. But let me ask you any additional questions that you had that you really want to get out.
I do. I was at Kansas. I actually had the pleasure of meeting you, Danica, during the nationwide pre-race for TSO. And
cool.
You said after the
yeah.
race. Yeah.
That's right.
You said after the race that it was the most fun you'd had in a stock car. And why is that? And what race are you looking forward to in Sprint Cup next year?
It was fun because my car was pretty decent. It always makes it better. I was passing a lot of people. That's fun. But it was like good side-by-side racing, and there was racing room. And but I think it tends to be pretty simple. It's when the car is good, it's really fun. And so I just felt really confident in the race. The car was pretty decent the whole time. I don't think we really made many changes. So it was just overall, it was a good car, good day. What was the other part of the question again? The last part? What am I looking forward to?
Yeah.
It's tough to say because I wouldn't say that I would have necessarily liked Kansas probably going into the weekend. I didn't think that'd be one I'd necessarily like, and I didn't think I'd like Darlington either, but I did like that one. So I think that it just usually the places that I like or most drivers like are the ones that we do well on. And I've gone to a track before and hated it and done terrible, and then all of a sudden it turns and you have a really great race. And you're like, yeah, really, wow, I love Sonoma. That's a fantastic place, where a couple of years earlier I would drive by and maybe send evil thoughts to it. So it changes, but it has to do with results.
So I apologize.
Awesome.
So Katie, you are in Iowa, right?
Yes, I'm in Sioux City, Iowa.
Right. And Kelly, you're the sports writer in Kansas?
Yes, I am.
All right. So I want to hear another question. I know you've got another question.
Yeah, I was reading a couple months back. You had a great feature about you in ESPN Mag, and I was just kind of wondering what it's like. You seem like you're really smart with working the whole system of media and everything. How did you learn that? How did you go about getting so smart with everything?
Oh gosh, that's awful nice of you. I don't know if it's even possible to really work the system too much. I think that you just have to learn who works well with you. You always want good articles to come out. You try and do ones that are going to have a lot of impact. So that was a cover story. Trying to work my sponsors into it always. I mean, it was a good and important for me to be on the cover in my suit, in my GoDaddy suit. I mean, that adds a lot of value to my partners and to my sponsor GoDaddy. So that's stuff that we try for. But as far as working the system or being good with it or having things like that happen, honestly, I feel like it comes from being honest and being who I am, and not being shy of that, and not giving crappy cookie cutter answers. And I don't even like to know questions before I do interviews, because it wrecks the authenticity of my answer, I feel like. And if I give the same answer in a pre-interview, sort of, when you go through things before I would come here today, let's say, then I just feel like I need to answer differently, or you're not going to believe me. So I just like things to be very authentic, and I hope that my fans can see that in me, and that I really want you to know who I am, and I say what's on my mind, and I think people can see that, hopefully, and that's what people want to maybe then put me in a magazine, because they're hoping for a good article, because I'm going to give them those answers.
Well, Rochelle, Katie, Kelly, Dan, Sid, thank you guys. I hope you've enjoyed being able to speak with Danica. And Danica, I hope you've been able to enjoy speaking with our community here.
Yeah, that was really fun. Thank you guys all for getting
That was
online
great.
and for asking all those great questions.
So thank you guys for joining, and hey, Danica, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank
really
you.
Appreciate it. And this is HuffPost Live. The conversation will continue.